In the previous video, I said that I will share the reasons why Guardian Tales could have been the best gacha game ever made, right? So without further ado, let's get started. First off, let me explain what makes a game, specifically a gacha game, the best from my perspective. Number 1, it can reach as many players as possible, meaning it should be playable on a wide range of devices, not just flagship phones. Take Genshin Impact for example, you can only really enjoy it on flagship or high-end phones, which makes it lose a point in my evaluation. Number 2, it has a massive amount of room for variety. The game can incorporate almost any idea, from puzzles and minigames to various content that tests different aspects of a player's skill. Like, you can have content that challenge your strategy, your mechanical skill, or even just your character's raw damage. Number 3, it's friendly for all players. The game isn't too pay to win where only spenders who can enjoy and compete in the game, but not too free to play friendly that spend money feels worthless, and doesn't burden players with meta in every content that casual players can't even finish the story. And lastly, number 4, those 3 points I mentioned are all tied together by the developer's clear vision for the game. They know how to keep the game engaging for the long haul while maintaining that balance. Plus, they actually listen to player feedback. They listen to the community instead of just having fun building things that the players never asked for. Basically, I want to say it has a very good management and optimization. Now that you see my overall points of what makes a gacha game the best, we can move on to the game of the day, Guardian Tales, my most favorite gacha game. If you're a long-time player, you probably already know where this game falls short, based on the criteria I just mentioned. Yes, in my view, Guardian Tales only checks half of those boxes. It can reach a very wide audience because of its low performance demands, and it also offers a variety of content. Colosseum tests your strategy, Arena tests your mechanical skill, and Guild Raid tests your damage output. However, for the other criteria, this game is ass! Like for real, Guardian Tales has such a bad microtransaction system that most of the paid packages feel like total garbage. They're just not worth buying when you find out the most important thing in this game is additional stats, which only favor long-time players. And if you've been playing as long as I have, you can tell the game has kinda lost its sense of direction. Like, aside from the story, it's lost its spark. There is nothing special about this game anymore, other than the story. To give you some context, let me explain the lore of Guardian Tales. And I don't mean the story inside the game, I mean the actual history of the game itself. Part 1. The Good Old Days. I've been playing Guardian Tales since Gacha was released back on December 1st, 2020. I remember he was released with Lupina rerun banner, and yes, I summoned Lupina because she was pretty and I thought she was a range hero. She's not. During that period, I was so captivated. I spent most of my time playing this weird looking pixel game, grinding resources for my Lupina and finishing the game's incredible stories. And oh boy, gathering resources were very hard for newbies back then. I couldn't sweep the dungeon since it required high garden level and the max level stage was only 70 or 80, I forget which. So I had to let the game run on auto mode while I was doing something else. And yep, it took me a lot of freaking time. However, a year later, the game started to frustrate me. The grind became boring and repetitive. It felt like I wasn't playing a video game anymore, but just doing some chores. Not to mention, the game had and still has a lot of death weeks. I saw tons of comments had been criticizing this on Facebook and Play Store, but for me, it was all still bearable. Because they'd occasionally release a great side story, and not long after that, the masterpiece World 11. Shit, it was so big! They also released my favorite content later on, which was Expedition. It was challenging, fun, and had interesting lore. Everything was still fine, until... What went wrong with Guardian Tales? By May 2024, I had been playing this game for 3.5 years. And I finally reached my breaking point. I decided to make this video to call out the game's biggest issues. Specifically, its revenue and how stagnant the experience felt even after years of development. The devs had promised all sorts of new updates, but most of them never materialized. This caused a lot of players to quit, and do you know what they did to try and re-engage them? Make the characters more revealing? No. Well, yeah, I guess they did that.
Oh my god!
But the other tactics were giving out more free stuff and holding collaborations with popular animes. To me, this is a cheap way to engage an audience, because instead of focusing their energy on bringing this game to its full potential, they're just throwing the players a bone, hoping veterans and newbies alike will be tempted to keep logging in.
No.
3 months later, I said in this video that Guardian Tales would only survive another 2 years if they kept this up. That's just my personal take. It could be sooner or later, or I could be totally wrong. But what do you think? Do you agree with my take? Okay, as you can see from the story, we can conclude that Guardian Tales kinda sucks nowadays. However, in the opening, I said that it could have been the best gacha game ever made, right? But how could this mere pixel game compete with the other big gacha games? Well, allow me to explain. I've had this big Guardian Tales blueprint in my head for years. Now I'm going to share it with you all so you can see just how powerful this game could have been. Because at this point, I don't think it will be going in this direction.
Disclaimer. This is all only for sharing ideas, not to challenge the teams behind Guardian Tales.
Yes, that's right. Thanks. Adam, now get the fuck out of my video.
You're not even paying me.
That's a lie. Alright, let's imagine ourselves as the decision maker for Guardian Tales for just a few minutes. In order to maximize Guardian Tales' potential, I think we need to address what's missing from that third criterion. We do that by meeting the needs of these kinds of players, because our game relies on them. First, of course, are the F2P gacha players. These players are the backbone of any gacha game. Without them, the game will die, because there's no community left. To keep them interested, we need to provide 3 things. 1. Fair ecosystem. This means fairness in competition and resource acquisition. 2. Few dead weeks. Ideally only 2 dead weeks a month, so players know there's always a fun content waiting for them. And 3. Great story. We already know that Guardian Tales nails the third point, so let's set that aside. But for the other 2 points, nah, I've really doubted there's even any fairness in this game since I first started playing it. Like, you want to focus on Colosseum? Well, there's additional stats gap blocking your way. Arena, additional stats and the elemental mechanism. Deathmatch, well, it's pretty fair to be honest. But you still need a little bit of luck regarding how often you get targeted by meta heroes or how good your teammates are. As for the dead weeks, I don't even need to explain it. That's why we need to remove the additional stats feature entirely. I think it completely demotivates players from being competitive in PvP. I swear to god guys, I tried starting a new account and man, the additional stats system really pissed me off in Arena. Like, what do you mean I get one-shotted when I already have a fully built hero? If we want to keep that stuff in the game, we should just throw it into PvE or raids. At least then, we wouldn't have to worry about being outstated by other players. Next, we need to create content that is repeatable but not repetitive to address that second problem. As I've explained it in the previous video, adding content like Arena with random hero choice system, PvE Colosseum and boss raid events will pretty much solve this issue. Nice. Alright, I think we've captured the F2P crowd's attention. Now let's shift our focus to the second kind of players, the spenders. Let's face it, a gacha game without people spending money is a dead game. That's just the reality. If no one spends money, we can't maintain the servers and the game eventually freaking dies. That's why I honestly get annoyed when some people complain about paid costumes in Guardian Tales. I get it, if you think the price is too expensive, that's totally fair. But saying the game has gone full capitalist just because they're selling costumes, you need to rethink that. Like bro, of course they sell costumes, they need the damn money! Do you really think those packages alone are enough to keep the servers running? Well, I don't know for sure, but I don't think so. As I already said, it's not worth it. I swear, these people bro, who want everything for free in gacha game, It really makes my blood boil! Okay, enough ranting, let's go back to how we attract spenders and encourage them to spend money. Well, it's simple actually, we just need to make sure we give them prestige. It's something we consider obtainable only by spenders. For example, becoming the highest rank in certain content. But of course, we don't want our beloved game to become entirely pay to win. That's why I think the pay to win element should be limited to raids, since that mode mostly relies on your hero roster and equipment. This way, F2P players can focus on Colosseum and Arena, while raids act as secondary content for extra resources. Additionally, we need to lean into cosmetics, because nothing says prestige like a rare costume. Here's how I sell it. First, standard category, obtainable by buying it with gems. Second, exquisite category. It's like the special costume. It has visual effect, illustration change, and additional voice lines. But at half the current price, because honestly, I don't think the special costume is worth its price right now. Lastly, iconic category. It's the upgraded version of the previous tier. Plus, it features a unique chain skill animation. The price triple the exquisite tier. What? Greedy? Capitalist? Screw you, I don't give a shit! The game needs money. And if I wanted to be really greedy, I'd add one more tier. Celestial or God tier. These would be unique, lore-accurate costumes like the Labos version of Plague Doctor. And in this tier, players receive a victory animation in Guild Raid and Arena. The price, double the previous one. Hell yeah, money! To top it off, I'd add even more prestige for collectors, like the Collector title and a unique profile border. Damn, this game would be printing money. And keeping itself alive forever, of course. So, if we look at what we've done, we've basically created a strong framework for a gacha game. We've taken care of F2P players with fair gameplay and a better content schedule. For spenders, we've introduced controlled pay-to-win content. Don't worry, as long as F2P players use a good comm and proper equipment, they can still deal a good amount of damage. And of course, the spenders get to flex their prestige with high-tier costumes. But we're not stopping here! We're going to push Guardian Tales beyond every other gacha game out there. And this next part is the real cherry on top, appealing to non-gacha players. I know what you're thinking.
How can a game that revolves around learning characters and equipment attract those who just play for fun? How is that even possible?
Well, it is possible if we have the budget. A simple first step would be to create two distinct modes for the adventure. A lore-accurate mode and a mode where you use your own heroes. The lore-accurate mode would essentially be the easy mode, since you wouldn't have to build any characters. The system would provide preset characters with their levels and power already balanced for the stage. However, we'll need to ensure the battles aren't so easy that they are not fun, but also not so hard that they're impossible to clear. The second mode would stay exactly like the one we have in Season 1 of Guardian Tales. Now, the next step is the hardest, creating content dedicated to gamers in general. You know, those who crave for the mechanical challenges in a video game. We're talking about hard mode stages with a brutal boss at the end, where you're forced to use Nike as your leader. It doesn't need a deep plot, we can just make something up as an excuse for it to exist. Like, there's a massive rat infestation and we need to wipe them out. Done, that's the lore. And in this content, we have enemies with smart formations and unique attacks. The boss is also as tough as an expedition boss but without the time limit. Of course, we'd also include difficulty options for players with a skill issue. But for those who beat the highest difficulty, they get a unique title for that, you know, prestige. Since this content requires a lot of time and budget, we'll only release it every 6 months, or whenever it's actually polished. Luckily, Guardian Tales has a popular gameplay style, which is hack and slash. It will be like Elden Ring, but pixelated. So I truly believe this will draw in a massive new audience. Man, I can already imagine how those gamers will react to this. Hey bro, check this out, it's a very cool game, you have to play it. What's that? It's Guardian Tales, it's a gacha game. Huh, gacha game. What? What's the problem? Huh, gacha game. A game where you must build your characters first to enjoy it, which I suspect it will take a lot of time. A game that only survives if people spend money continuously, and to trap players into playing forever, they show off characters in revealing outfits, so our animal instinct won't let us quit. Calling it a game is such an insult to me. It's basically hentai with extra steps. Man, shut your freaking mouth, just play it, goddammit! Whoa, this game has character building system, but I can actually enjoy the story without touching it. It also has a content dedicated to me. Yeah, this game is perfect. I'm sharing this with everyone. And then, Guardian Tales spreads across the globe, ushering in a new empire of gacha games. Sorry guys, I was dreaming for a second there, sadly. But for real, the ideas I just showed you will require total dedication from the developers, fixing bugs immediately and constantly balancing the game. Once those core foundations are set, we'd have the freedom to create anything. And I mean anything. We could drop a sumo racing minigame just because we can.
Yeah, boy!
Alright, you've seen my peak Guardian Tales blueprint, what do you think? This plan has something for everyone. F2P gacha players, big spenders, story enjoyers, and hardcore gamers. Plus, it's optimized to run on everything, from budget phones to high-end devices. So yeah, I can confidently say that if we followed this, Guardian Tales really could have been the best gacha game ever made. But still, all of this only exists in my imagination. It may never actually come true. So snap back to reality, these are the things I'm still hoping to see happen in Guardian Tales. First, I hope Guardian Tales dies, and then we resurrect it. Yeah, we're gonna do what Noxia does to this game. Then it can implement all the ideas I've mentioned in this video. We'll even change the name from Guardian Tales to Guardian Tales Reforged, or Reborn, or maybe Retold, or screw it, I don't know. But I know this is probably just a dream, a wet dream from a dude named Ranceeel. That's why I've got a backup hope. My second hope is that Guardian Tales just lives long enough to finish the story. At this point, that's all I'm asking for. Bro, why do you care so much about this game? If it dies, then just let it die. Let it die, let it die. Shut the fuck up. I love this game, bruh. Like, I really love it. If you're here only to hear my thoughts on why Guardian Tales could have been the best gacha game ever made, the video ends here. But if you want to hear how I feel about this game and the reason I've spent 5 years playing it and making content for it, you can keep watching. Ranceeel Lore. I was just a regular kid trying to give my best in this unforgiving world. Growing up, I was told to always work hard in academics so I could get into state school. Because it was mostly free, I didn't have to worry about things like monthly tuition or semester fees, which was perfect because my mom likes free stuff. So I studied, I stressed out, I gamed, I got good test scores, and I finally got into the school my mom wanted. That was my life from age 10 to 17, and it was fucking torture. After I graduated, reality hit me. I had given my best to academics, but my best wasn't enough. I failed to get into a prestigious university, and it broke me. I felt like a complete failure. Even though I scored well, compared to hundreds of thousands of other students, my score still sucked. The only other way in was through tests on subjects I wasn't even taught in school. I was tired of that bullshit, so I didn't take them. Suddenly, it felt like my life was ruined. I was in need for several months, not doing a single productive thing, because I didn't know what the fuck to do. My mom was disappointed, but she eventually persuaded me to enter university, one that wasn't considered good by the public. I felt like I had no choice but to go back to the same things that tortured me, so I got something to do at least. During that depressing time, I was messing around on Play Store, looking for a game to kill time. And there it was, the game that would unexpectedly change my life. At the time, Guardian Tales had a 4.9 rating. It was so high, I didn't hesitate to download it. Once I played it, oh boy! I never thought I could fall in love with a goddamn video game. I don't know guys, but the moment I started World 1, all the sadness inside me just vanished. Seeing this little guy strolling through the forest to this background music, it made me so fucking happy, and I don't even know why. After I finished World 11, I thought to myself, man, this game needs more recognition. Screw it, I want this game to be popular. I'm gonna be voluntary salesperson of Guardian Tales. Even if my future was probably headed for disaster, for the first time in my life, I wanted to do something that truly mattered to me, supporting this weird pixel game. And that is how this channel was born. Couple of months later, I got so stressed by the same repetitive activities in college. On the other hand, I also need to create content on my channel. So I asked my mom to let me drop out because college felt useless. The material was outdated, the information I could find on the internet was 10 times more advanced, plus the world decided to create AI to replace my job. When I tested AI on my coding assignments, I knew I was cooked. Wait, hold on a second. Holy shit, guys! When I think about my time in school, it feels like I just wasted over a decade of my life. Seriously, what the fuck? I had this gut feeling I wouldn't even get a job after college, and most of what I studied isn't even fucking useful. Shit, I shouldn't have expected much from a country with one of the worst education systems. Anyway, long story short, I left college and went all in on my career as a content creator. And thank God it went well. Incredibly well, to be honest. And it's all thanks to you guys, W viewers. However, even after I made a few viral videos about Guardian Tales, I still felt like the game wasn't going anywhere. The player count stayed exactly the same, and the overall state of the game didn't improve at all. There were many promises the devs just didn't keep, like Neva's exclusive weapon, or the massive content update promised for Hell mode. It wasn't supposed to be just a few challenge stages, there was actually something huge planned for it. There were other promises too that I can't remember right now, but I know they were there. Comment down below if you remember. And now, after playing the game and making content about it for like 5 years, I felt the game's condition didn't get any better. It's even worse if I'm being honest. There is no clear conclusion for exploration, the expedition has been closed, and the score has plummeted. Me, on the other hand, I have grown up. I realize I need money for living, and as you may have known, it's pretty hard to get a lot of money if my content is about Guardian Tales. I also have to take the reality pill that maybe the purpose of making Guardian Tales popular couldn't happen. Because let's say I made a content that was viewed by a lot of people, but the game in my opinion was still not in a good shape. Then what's the point of creating it in the first place if I feel they were not gonna play the game? Well, you still get a lot of money. Yeah, but the chance of Guardian Tales content become viral is very low. With that being said, I decided not to only create Guardian Tales content, but gacha games in general, and maybe some storytelling content too. Okay, final words. I'd like to thank you guys, because without all of you, I'd probably still be stuck in that hell. I genuinely appreciate your comments and your support for this channel. As for Guardian Tales, I want to say this. Even though you're not the best gacha game in the world, you will always be the best game in my heart. Damn! I'm not gonna lie guys, this game gave my confidence, courage, and creativity back. Things the education system did the opposite. F you. So massive thanks to this W game. This video is basically my love letter to Guardian Tales. Okay, that's about it, but before I end this video, I want to do a face reveal to celebrate my 40k subscribers, yeah! Okay, here's the face reveal. I hope it doesn't hurt my channel. Thank you for watching, see you in the next video.